My name's Carlos and I've managed over $100 million over the last 9 years for businesses running ads, and I've generated some really solid results for my clients doing so. So in this video, I'm gonna break down what actually matters when running ads, because with just an audit of about 5 things, I can quickly tell if a business is gonna be able to scale or if they're gonna have a hard time scaling with paid ads. To be transparent, this is the exact framework I use when I'm about to partner with a new client or I'm considering if they'll be a good fit for me. It's the thing I look at not just to improve ad performance, but to actually understand if I can help drive business growth and profitability. And with that being said, let's start with the number one piece that people overlook that I can immediately determine if they're gonna be successful or not, and that is your product or your service and your unit economics. So let's dive into what that actually looks like. Okay, let's zoom into product and service. And so this is really the strength of your product or service, and there's a secondary component that I'll get to here in a second. But in essence, if you have a product that is commoditized or that just has tons of poor reviews on it and people generally don't like it, whether it's a product or a service, the likelihood that you can expect yourself to scale to a really high amount and have very high efficiency in an ad platform just doesn't exist. You're not operating in reality. A lot of times what I'll see when I audit accounts is somebody will say, hey, help me get to this ROAS or this level of scale. And immediately I tell them, hey, I actually don't think there's much wrong with the ad account. When I actually look at the service and I do a little bit of digging and I look at your competitors, here's where they're edging you out on. And 10 times out of 10 times, they're going to choose your competitor primarily for XYZ reason. You need to fix your product or your service, and then you need to run ads. There's a linear order to things. So make sure you're not in a rush to run ads and you launch a poor quality product or a subpar service thinking you're gonna crush in ads. It just doesn't exist. The second component to your product or your service is your unit economics need to make sense for your business model. What I mean by this is if you are selling a $100 product and it costs you $80 to fulfill that product, meaning your cost of goods are $80. It could be the same thing synonymous to a service-based business where you're getting leads. If the charge of the product or the service is leaving you very thin margin after you fulfill it, so all your fulfillment costs, meaning you only have, let's use that example, if it costs you 80 and you're selling it for 100, you only have $20 of margin. So that means you need to be getting a cost per purchase or a cost per sale underneath $20 to make any profit with advertising. So a lot of businesses, they require a 4 or a 5 ROAS consistently to be able to scale because they can't be profitable unless they hit that ROAS mark. That is a severe flaw foundationally on the business model, because as you scale, one thing's expected, your ROAS will decline because you are effectively hitting colder and colder audiences. So to start, if you have really poor unit economics or a really poor service or product, you should not be running ads. Fix those before you desire to run ads. It'll save you a lot of time, confusion, and money. Moving on to layer 2 of what matters when you're running ads and your ability to scale, it's actually a marketing specialist. So whether this is an agency or an in-house hire, somebody who understands marketing really well. And the reason I say that is because the next 3 sections that I'm gonna go over, the marketing specialist actually has control over. So they don't have control over your product or your service. That is the business owner. The business owner is responsible for being able to fix that and make sure that their unit economics are actually profitable and able to be leveraged in a scalable way via advertising. So the marketing specialist, this is going to matter entirely because this is the person that's gonna understand not only how to allocate spend, but to understand what to prioritize and what are your biggest levers for moving business growth in a profitable direction. And so I'm not gonna harp too much on that, but making sure that you hire top level marketing talent is always gonna be important because you're gonna get where you wanna go faster and more efficiently. The last thing I'll mention here, and I've seen this time and time again, is I'll see business owners wanting to cut a few corners with hiring lower quality talent or overseas talent. And all I see time and time again is a bigger waste of time of training and onboarding, and then there being some bottleneck either in communication or a skill gap in just understanding the business model, to where if they would have just hired somebody local or local at least to their country, who has high quality talent and they were just to pay a bit more, they actually would have saved money in the long run because they would have got where they wanted to go faster and they would have spent less money doing so overall because you're driving business growth at an accelerated rate. The next lever of what actually matters when you're running ads to actually be able to drive and scale profitable growth in your platform is going to be your website conversion rate. So let me just show you a quick example of what I mean. But before I do, the importance of actually optimizing your website convertibility, it's actually pretty obvious. You can send the best traffic, you can have the best marketer sending traffic to your website using whatever ads you want. If your website does not communicate what you do, where you do it, and why people should choose you and how you're going to upgrade their life either with a product or the service and why you're the best solution to their challenge or their pain point, it doesn't matter. You will never get the conversion. You're never going to be able to scale at the rate you want. And so let me just show you a quick example. So what I have in front of me is just two examples of landing pages, right? And I'm going to just kind of hold them side by side for a second. So these are both plumbing company websites. This is just the homepage, the hero section. So it's just the top portion of the actual landing page where somebody would click an ad and go here. So let's just say I'm looking for a plumber that's local to me in Colorado Springs, right? Well, if I come to this website, they could have the best ads in the world, best ad copy, the best marketer on their team. But again, the best marketer should know that you shouldn't be doing something like this. It says, welcome to Pipe and Pitch. And then it has a blob of text, and this is gonna look even worse on a mobile device. None of this stuff up top is actually gonna be included on a mobile device. It's just gonna be this wall of text. And so, I don't know what they do. I mean, I guess I can have, if I read through all of this, I will, but immediately I need to know what they do and where they do it. So I don't know where they do it unless I keep reading through all of this wall of text. I need to quickly be able to understand. And then more importantly, I don't know why I should choose them. I don't know why they're credible. Should I reach out to them or should I just go to another competitor? Well, look at this other website. Immediately it answers those three questions. What do they do? Where do they do it? And why should people reach out and choose them? So what do they do? They're a plumber. I'm looking for plumbing services. Where do they do it? Colorado Springs, Colorado. Why should I choose them? Well, look at, they have all these reviews on Google, and then they make it really easy. This is actually the fourth component that I didn't mention. They have two call to actions. They have a schedule now and a call action button. And on mobile, these are responsive, so they're going to exist on a mobile device, where these ones, the call to action is a call button. But again, on a mobile, this is likely going to disappear. So, and that's where you want it. So make sure that you have all those things figured out. Your website needs to be optimized. If you're selling a product, there's several things you need to do on your actual product page to make people understand the selling points, why it's going to benefit or upgrade their life, why they need it, and then ultimately why you're the most credible solution or product for that pain point. The next layer, and a little bit less important than the website and CRO side of things, is your actual ad and your offer. So if you have all these things fixed, you're already in a really good place, because as we go up this triangle, they get less and less important. I've started with the biggest levers that actually move the needle. So if you're doing all these things right until now, you'll be able to go pretty far with marketing. But I'm talking about if you want to get to the point to where you're spending 6 figures to 7 figures a month in advertising and driving growth for the brand, these are the things you're going to have to obsess over and focus on are the next two things. So the next thing is really your ads and your offer. And so what do I mean by this? Let me show you an example. So there's this example, and this is of a lead generation company. And I'm gonna actually walk you through a e-commerce company, and they sell a coffee alternative, and it's supposed to be a bit healthier for you, right? And so what I mean by your ads and your offer, especially if you're running on Facebook ads, is you need to know two things. One, you need to have a significant volume of ad creative pumped through your ad account post Andromeda to actually get learnings, grow efficiently, and be able to scale and make sure you don't fatigue. And you have to do so in a way that positions an offer or a pain point and why you're the best solution. So similar to your website, you need to do this on your ads just in a quicker, punchier way. You'll see on these two things right here, very, very clever, and you're gonna hit different pain points for different people. Bye beer belly. Like, this is clever. This is where you need to think of different angles of why your product is beneficial and who it can be beneficial to. So let's say I'm a blue collar guy who likes beer, but I do have a beer belly. Like, you have to think of good stuff like this. And then at the bottom, again, they have the unit economics to understand that people are going to likely subscribe and be repeat purchases. So they can offer 40% off here. And then they have plus free gifts. It's perceived offer. So you have to get the conversion. You have to capture attention to people who are looking for what you want to look for, or who don't even know you exist. Even if I didn't know I wanted a coffee alternative, if I see something like this, made in USA, wake up with a flat belly, it's going to get me maybe solution aware of a problem that, you know, I kind of knew I had. Like maybe I have a belly and I want it gone, but I'm not searching for anything. This is immediately going to get me in the mindset of, hey, there's now a solution. I can wake up with a flat belly, and then I immediately see all these healthy looking ingredients, and I'm immediately tied to, hey, this probably actually can do the thing. So in essence, all these ads do, same thing here, is they communicate in a very clever way why somebody needs your product, or why it's going to pull the string or the thread on maybe an existing or underlying desire that they have. So maybe for this company, they sell bollards for your driveway so no one steals your car. Bad news for car thieves. Car thieves hate these. Bollards up, break-ins down. So how do I prevent smash and grab theft? Well, this is an easy way to do. Protect your assets. Things of that nature. You have to get people problem and solution aware immediately, and then hit them with an offer like a free quote, or if you're an e-commerce brand and your unit economics make sense, offering them free gifts with their first purchase or a 40% off discount. So that is going to by far be the next lever for scalability on Facebook ads and just efficiently. If you want to hit your efficiency targets, you need to have clever ad copy, ad creative visually, and it needs to be diverse enough. So make sure you really drill that in. That is going to be a very, very important piece. Last but not least, if you have a solid business model, your product and your service are solid, they're dialed in, they're really competitive in the marketplace among the top 5%, great. If you have a solid person who understands marketing, great. They're running your ads. They're doing things from your website, optimizing from a CRO standpoint. They understand from an ad standpoint and an ad creative standpoint how to position the creative and the wording in a way that gets people problem and solution aware and then funnels them down to become a customer. Great. The last thing that really matters, and that's kind of out of your control for the most part, is going to be your total addressable market. Your total addressable market is essentially the size of your market that you can expand to. So if I sell phone accessories, I have a large total addressable market. How many people have phones that you can sell to? Tons and tons and tons, like just about everybody, right? But if I am selling, let's just say maternity wear, right, for moms in their third trimester, it's a very limited total addressable market. And so you have to be aware of that, and you have to figure out ways to scale past that. But that is going to be a limiting factor in your ads if you want to scale. It's just really the nature of the business. And so you have to understand how to appeal to different audiences within that total addressable market and try to get people problem aware or solution aware, or try to generate some demand for your product and expand your total addressable market. That's done through lots and lots of advertising, and it does exist, but it can be the largest limiting factor for businesses being able to scale to 6 to 7 figures a month in ad spend. So hope this helps you guys. Let me know, as always, if you want a free advertising audit of your ad accounts. Happy to do so. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you.